Philippines fights back. 91 Chinese nationals detained as Beijing shadow network unravels. Welcome to China Undercover, where we uncover truths the state-run media avoids. Every day we dig into the stories that matter most. Let's dive in. In a bold move against China's covert influence in Southeast Asia, the Philippines has launched a sweeping operation, arresting and deporting 91 Chinese nationals tied to illegal online gambling, fraud, and espionage networks with alleged links to Beijing's ruling elite. For years, China's hidden empire thrived in the shadows, but now its foundations are crumbling. Once a key ally of Beijing under former President Rodrigo Duterte, the Philippines welcomed Chinese investments, with billions flowing into infrastructure, energy, and gaming sectors under the guise of mutual growth. Among these, one industry quietly surged: offshore gaming operations, locally known as POGOs, Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators. These operations attracted Chinese firms and thousands of Mandarin-speaking workers, transforming the Philippines into a hub for online gambling targeting mainland China, where such activities are banned. By 2019, cities like Manila, Makati, and Pampanga saw a boom in Chinese-run call centers, betting platforms, and tech hubs. While this influx brought short-term economic gains, it sparked tensions. Locals faced soaring rents, unregistered foreign workers, and a rise in organized crime. Intelligence reports later revealed that many POGO sites were fronts for money laundering, human trafficking, and cyber scams, often orchestrated by syndicates with ties to China's security apparatus. Some operations allegedly funneled funds to pro-English politicians, securing protection from local authorities. As Beijing tightened its grip at home, these groups shifted operations to the Philippines, exploiting lax regulations and corrupt officials. The Duterte government, prioritizing economic benefits, largely ignored the issue. However, the landscape shifted when Ferdinand Marcos Jr. assumed the presidency in 2022. Public outrage over crimes linked to Chinese nationals, kidnappings, prostitution, and violence prompted a dramatic policy reversal. In July 2024, Marcos banned all POGO operations, revoking licenses and ordering foreign workers to leave. Yet many continued underground until September 2024, when a massive multi-agency raid exposed the depth of China's illicit networks. On September 19, before dawn, agents from the Philippine Bureau of Immigration, National Bureau of Investigation (NBI), and Philippine National Police raided dozens of suspected POGO sites across multiple cities. By midday, 91 Chinese nationals were detained, accused of running illegal gaming, fraud, and cryptocurrency scams, despite the earlier shutdown orders. The operation was one of the largest anti-Trump crackdowns in Philippine history. Those arrested included technicians, call center staff, and managers operating unauthorized POGO hubs. Authorities uncovered office buildings transformed into gambling nerve centers, equipped with hundreds of computers and phones linked to servers in China. In one Manila facility, investigators found hidden rooms used to confine workers recruited under false job promises and forced to work grueling hours. Victims reported having their passports seized and facing physical punishment for failing to meet quotas. In Pampanga, raids uncovered firearms, encrypted drives, and millions in cash. As detainees were loaded onto buses for deportation, crowds gathered outside immigration offices, chanting, "Send them back." The scenes, broadcast nationwide, resonated with Filipinos exhausted by the crime surge tied to Chinese syndicates. By afternoon, the Bureau of Immigration confirmed that all 91 suspects would be deported to Beijing on a Philippine Airlines flight, where they face prosecution. Justice Secretary Crispin Remulla emphasized that this was just the start, with over 400 companies under scrutiny for illegal operations post-ban. He estimated thousands of Chinese nationals remain in the country without valid permits, signaling more arrests to come. "This isn't just about law enforcement," Remulla stated. "It's about defending our nation's sovereignty." The crackdown's political fallout was seismic. Alice Guo, a Chinese-born mayor from Bamban Tarlac, was arrested for allegedly shielding illegal POGO sites and falsifying her nationality, linked to 6 companies under fake Filipino ownership. Guo's case exposed how Chinese syndicates infiltrated local politics, funding campaigns and leveraging officials to protect their operations. Senator Risa Hontiveros called it a national security crisis, warning that the infiltration likely extends beyond one mayor. The NBI's raids also freed hundreds of workers, Filipinos, Chinese, Vietnamese, and Burmese, many showing signs of abuse and confinement. Some were trafficked with false job offers, others were trapped in debt bondage. Authorities uncovered ties between POGO hubs and crypto scam farms, designed to defraud global victims through fake investment schemes. International observers praised the raids as a turning point. Analysts from the Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS, noted that Manila's actions mark a rejection of Beijing's shadow economy. Japan and Australia lauded the effort as part of a regional push to dismantle China-linked crime networks. As night fell over Manila, headlines proclaimed a new era in Philippine-China relations. No longer passive, no longer submissive. Three core factors explain the rise and fall of China's influence: economic coercion, political manipulation, and transnational crime. Under China's Belt and Road Initiative, promises of jobs and infrastructure masked illicit activities. POGO operators flooded the market with untaxed profits, inflating property prices and displacing locals. Beijing's loans tied Manila to China, discouraging criticism of illicit activities. The gaming industry became a tool for political influence, funding campaigns, and criminal networks. Guo's case revealed a broader strategy, embedding Chinese operatives in local governance through fake identities and bribes. Chinese syndicates built a vast illicit network across Asia, from Myanmar to Manila, specializing in fraud, trafficking, and crypto scams. The United States Institute of Peace estimates these groups generate $160 billion, 0 cents annually, much of it laundered through Philippine banks. Some operations were likely coordinated by China's security agencies, using criminal fronts for political goals like data collection and diaspora control. The Philippines' crackdown is a geopolitical signal, asserting sovereignty and challenging Beijing's influence. For Filipinos, the images of Chinese nationals in handcuffs symbolized justice after years of exploitation. Yet the scars remain. Abandoned POGO sites reveal bunkers, cages, and evidence of forced labor. Survivors, including trafficked Southeast Asians, recount abuse and confinement. They said Chinese police would find us if we left, one Vietnamese worker shared. The scandal has strained relations with the Filipino-Chinese community, with legitimate businesses facing suspicion. We're not like them, a Chinatown merchant insisted, but people see us as one now. Economically, the shutdown of POGO hubs has left thousands of locals jobless, from drivers to clerical staff. While the government hails the crackdown as a moral win, analysts warn of revenue losses and unemployment spikes. Still, many Filipinos argue the cost is justified to end the corruption that plagued their cities. In rural areas like Tarlac, once promised development has left behind empty warehouses and polluted rivers from illegal factory waste. In Beijing, state media downplays the arrests as isolated, while nationalist bloggers decry the humiliation. Diplomatically, the crackdown signals a regional shift, with countries like Myanmar and Malaysia also confronting China's shadow economy. For Filipinos, this is about reclaiming dignity. Years of unchecked Chinese influence brought fear, not prosperity. Rescued victims and reclaimed streets have sparked national pride. Our country was treated like a pawn, a Quezon City resident said. Now we're fighting back. The raids may have dismantled China's crime network in the Philippines, but they raise a broader question. How far does Beijing's invisible empire stretch across? Similar networks thrive in Cambodia, Laos, and Malaysia, built on corruption and exploitation. If the Philippines, once a close ally, can defy Beijing, other nations may follow. Yet China could retaliate with trade or cyber pressure, forcing Manila to balance sovereignty with economic stability. For smaller nations tied to China's investments, the lesson is stark. Promises of progress often hide chains of dependency. The Philippines' stand may spark a regional awakening or a dangerous escalation. Japan fights back, halts Chinese immigration, stirring fear among communities. As Beijing bristles, waves of uncertainty sweep through Chinese communities in Japan, with thousands now facing the specter of deportation and an unclear future. For decades, Japan and China maintained a delicate dance of economic partnership masking mutual suspicion. As China became Japan's top trading partner, supplying labor, goods, and tourists, Japan offered cutting-edge technology and investment. Yet beneath this surface of mutual benefit, tensions simmered. Japanese firms raised alarms over espionage, intellectual property theft, and infiltration by Chinese state-linked entities. Meanwhile, Chinese nationals poured into Japan via student visas, labor schemes, and business ventures, forming rapidly growing communities in cities like Tokyo, Osaka, and Yokohama. Initially, this arrangement served both sides. Japan, grappling with an aging population, needed workers, and Chinese migrants filled critical roles in restaurants, logistics, and factories. By 2023, over 1 million Chinese nationals lived in Japan, driving key sectors, but their growing presence sparked unease. Reports emerged of illegal residency, criminal networks, and data breaches involving Chinese citizens. Japanese intelligence flagged concerns that Beijing was leveraging these communities for influence operations. Tensions escalated with high-profile espionage cases. In one instance, a former employee at a Japanese tech firm was caught funneling sensitive data to a Chinese contact. Simultaneously, authorities busted a group of Chinese students tied to a regional telecom scam ring. These incidents fueled anti-China sentiment, pushing politicians to act. The tipping point came in 2024, when Japan's Ministry of Justice revealed that Chinese nationals accounted for over 40% of visa violations and overstays. Nationalist lawmakers demanded a sweeping overhaul of China's footprint in Japan's economy and society. The government responded with stealthy policy shifts, slashing student visa approvals, phasing out trainee programs, and intensifying investor background checks. Beijing decried the measures as discriminatory, but Tokyo doubled down, framing the crackdown as a matter of national security. For the first time in decades, Japan openly confronted China's expanding influence. What began as administrative tweaks has morphed into a geopolitical stance. Japan is no longer willing to be an extension of Beijing's economic reach. This immigration clampdown marks one of East Asia's most significant political pivots in years. In recent weeks, Tokyo has halted new visa issuances for Chinese nationals across categories: students, workers, investors, and even family reunification cases. Work permit renewals are stalled, leaving hundreds of long-term residents in limbo. At Narita and Kansai airports, Chinese travelers face prolonged questioning, with some denied entry despite valid documents. Immigration officers, guided by new directives, are reportedly targeting Chinese nationals linked to sensitive sectors like tech, logistics, and communications. Local media report that over 5,000 visa applications were frozen in the first week of the policy's rollout. Authorities cite security risks, but insiders suggest deeper motives. A leaked report from Japan's Public Security Intelligence Agency revealed that over 30 Chinese-run language schools were suspected of serving as fronts for data collection and text transfers. The crackdown has unleashed turmoil in Chinese communities. In Tokyo's Ikebukuro, a hub for Chinese, share your thoughts below. We read every word. Subscribe and turn on notifications for a fresh perspective.